The Enfield Haunting. On an ordinary street in North London stood a modest council house that looked no different from the others around it. It wasn't abandoned. It wasn't ancient. It was home to a family trying to rebuild their lives after hardship. But in August 1977, that ordinary house became the center of one of the most investigated paranormal cases in history. Furniture was said to move on its own. Loud knocking echoed through the walls. Police officers claimed to witness impossible events. Journalists, investigators, and psychologists all entered the house, each hoping to uncover the truth. Some believed the family was haunted by a violent poltergeist. Others believed it was an elaborate hoax. Nearly 50 years later, the Enfield Haunting remains one of the world's most debated paranormal mysteries. This is Case File 4. Section 2, The Hodgson Family. The story began in the quiet London borough of Enfield, where Peggy Hodgson lived with her 4 children in a modest council house. Life was already difficult. As a single mother, Peggy worked hard to provide for her family, and nothing about their home suggested it would soon become the focus of worldwide attention. On the evening of August 30th, 1977, everything changed. According to the family, strange knocking sounds echoed through the walls after the children had gone to bed. At first, they believed it was an ordinary household noise, but the knocking continued, louder and closer. Then came the sound of furniture scraping across the floor. When Peggy entered the children's bedroom, she claimed a heavy chest of drawers had shifted on its own. Despite her efforts, she said she couldn't move it back into place. Frightened and desperate for help, she called the police. What happened next would bring investigators, journalists, and curious onlookers from across the country, and turn an ordinary family into the center of one of history's most controversial paranormal investigations. Section 3. The First Witnesses. As the reports continued, what had seemed like an ordinary family dispute began attracting unexpected attention. Police officers responding to the Hodgson home described witnessing events they could not easily explain. According to their statements, chairs appeared to move without anyone touching them, and strange knocking sounds echoed through the house. Soon, neighbors also began reporting unusual noises coming from inside the home. Some claimed they heard furniture being dragged across the floor late at night. Others described loud bangs and unexplained voices. What had begun as a family's frightening experience was quickly becoming one of Britain's most controversial paranormal investigations. Whether these events were caused by something supernatural or had a more ordinary explanation remains the subject of debate to this day. Section 4. The Investigation. As reports from the Hodgson home spread, the case soon attracted widespread attention. What had begun as a family's frightening experience was now drawing journalists, photographers, and paranormal investigators to the house. Among the most well-known investigators were members of the Society for Psychical Research, including Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair. Both spent months documenting the reported events, interviewing witnesses, and recording unusual occurrences. Over the course of the investigation, hundreds of hours of audio recordings, photographs, and written notes were collected. Some witnesses claimed they had seen furniture move without explanation. Others described knocking sounds, objects being thrown, and voices that appeared to come from inside the house. Not everyone was convinced. Skeptics argued that at least some of the incidents could have been exaggerated or deliberately staged. On several occasions, investigators themselves caught members of the family recreating certain events. Even so, supporters of the case maintained that not every incident could be explained by trickery alone. As the investigation continued, one question remained. Was this an elaborate hoax, or had something genuinely unexplained taken place inside the Enfield house? Section 5. The Legacy and the Debate. Nearly 5 decades have passed since the events inside the Hodgson home first captured the world's attention. To this day, the Enfield Haunting remains one of the most extensively documented paranormal cases in modern history. Hundreds of witness statements, photographs, recordings, and investigation notes continue to be studied by believers and skeptics alike. Some argue that the strange events can be explained by misinterpretation, exaggeration, or deliberate hoaxes. Others believe that certain incidents witnessed by investigators and police officers remain difficult to explain. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Whether the Enfield haunting was a genuine paranormal event or an extraordinary series of misunderstandings, it continues to divide opinion around the world. The house still stands today, but the questions raised by the case have never truly been answered. And perhaps they never will be. This has been The Hollow Signal. If you enjoyed this documentary, consider subscribing to The Hollow Signal. New paranormal cases and true horror stories are uploaded regularly. Thank you for watching.